Hey guys, this is Maliha from the Site Blogger, and in today's video, I kind of wanted to show you the new generative search results on Google. So basically, Google is testing AI generated search results for some time now, and they have a version of it available. It's experimental still, and if you want to access it, you have to kind of ask for it basically. There's a wait list, and once you join the wait list, from anywhere from just a couple of days to a couple of weeks or so, you should get access to try it out. So I requested access a while ago, and I think it took me less than a week to get access to it. Um, and I have been playing around with it since then, and I'm going to show you in a second what it looks like. Just a couple of comments before we go into that. It's basically, the reason I'm so curious about it is because I want to see how it's going to affect my blogging, because a lot of my blog traffic comes from organic search. So if I have generative search results, which is basically like Google showing you answers to questions people are asking right there on screen, how is it going to affect me as a blogger? I mean, will people still click on my links if they already get answers right on the search result page? So those are the questions I had, and I still don't have all the answers to it, but I did write a blog post which I will link to at the bottom of this video. Um, but these are just some of the things, that I'm thinking, I'm feeling after testing out this. So to access Google's generative search experience or search generative experience, you have to click this icon. Just open a browser, basically a Chrome browser, and go to a new tab. And on the top right corner, if you follow my mouse, see this Search Labs icon. Just click it. And if you don't have access to it already, then you'll see a place where you can sign up for the wait list. Because I'm out of the wait list, I already have access to these three things: the search generative experience, code tips, add to sheets. Now, for this video, I'm not going to bother with add to sheets or code tips. Those are not relevant for us bloggers at this point, or the topic that I'm tackling right now. So I have these turned off, and I have the search generative experience turned on. You can turn them off or on at will. When you turn on, it will ask you to click I agree here. It's a terms and conditions and privacy notice. So I have actually turned this on and off multiple times over the past few weeks, because sometimes the generative search, and I'll show you what I mean, but sometimes it's a little slow. It's pretty fast, but not as fast where it's distraction free, or where it's like it still takes a few seconds, and sometimes it can be um, a little disorienting and distracting. I mean, privileged worries. Anyway, so when you have this turned on, that's all you need to do. Now you can just go and open a new tab and search for anything. So for example, let me show you, let's say I'm searching for vacationing in Colorado during summer. As you can see, it's creating the generative experience. It took a couple of seconds and we have it. And it has, so basically this is what I mean by generative search experience. The top portion of a search engine is where you get information that is created with AI. And then if you scroll down, you see that you have the usual search result, the search results, basically links, what we're used to seeing. So if you scroll down and you hide that on top, everything else looks exactly the same as they always have. Basically, you see links, you see people also ask section where Google shows you some questions that people ask, which are relevant to your search query, and basically, usual stuff. But at the very top, you have it's like a small blog post, a short blog post, um, where it's just giving you the answer to what it thinks you're looking for. So, generative AI is experimental. Info quality may vary. So, like I said, it's they're still testing it out. So everything is not perfect. By the time they turn it on for all users, things may very well look very different. So take it with a pinch of salt or whatever. Um, and basically, the generative search area has three different things. The left is like a small blog post. Right, the right side, it has like a bunch of links, and I'm assuming, actually, I'm pretty sure these are the links that um, Google search has used to get its info from. I'm assuming. Uh, I read about it that that's what it is, but I haven't verified it, so that's why I'm saying I think that's what's happening. And then you have a bunch of at the bottom you have a bunch of things, a bunch of questions that it thinks that you may be interested in learning more about. So, for example, if you click on any of those links, like where is the prettiest place in Colorado, then it basically opens up another section of the generative search results, right under the first portion. The first one is what we originally searched for, which was vacationing in Colorado during summer. And then it's where is the prettiest place in Colorado? And then it gives a list, basically. So if you just want to learn about, the prettiest places in Colorado, you don't even have to click a link or anything. That's what I was worried about. That, for bloggers who often creates like lists type of posts or informational things, how would generative search affect us if users can see the things they're looking for right on screen? Anyway, also, before I talk about that portion, like how it affects us, I also noticed that sometimes, depending on how you're searching, what you're searching for, the generative search results can look a little different. So instead of saying vacationing in Colorado during summer, if I say um, vacation spots in Colorado during summer, then if you search for that, the generative search results will show you, there you go, a list basically, a list of vacation spots. So the results, exactly what you see kind of depends on your search query. But yeah, essentially it's kind of like that. You see a lot of really useful information in the generative search area that can kind of render a user to, not click on blog posts and articles anymore. So there's that. However, Google said that, they're always going to prioritize publishers and whatnot. So if that's the case, um, I'm not in a position to comment on it. I'm not a guru about all of these things, and I hate speculating. But from reading other people's comments on this and from experimenting with this feature for the last few weeks, what I have realized is that if you want to future proof your blogging business, then you have to think beyond what a generative AI experiment can, or generative AI can give its users. So if you're a blogger who just writes like informational posts, then you're gonna have to kind of pivot, I think, because if you're searching for, if think about a user, if users are searching for vacation spots in Colorado, and you're a travel blogger, then instead of creating just these lists, or maybe not even instead of, it's more like on top of, because once a user, a reader, a potential subscriber, buyer, whoever, lands on your website, and people can land on your website from all sorts of places. People are not only always on search engines. So there are social media, there's Pinterest, and There's a bunch of other places, platforms basically, where people may find you. So you do want to still keep creating content like short informational posts or lists. You still want to do that, but on top of it, kind of search engine proof your blogging business by creating information that cannot be easily summarized, or even when people summarize them, people will still need to be able to better understand them, which will then um, kind of prompt them to go and look for articles and blog posts that have um, more information. So I often say to my blogging students that you should have, to create a successful blogging business, you should teach something. And when people want to learn something, like in depth about something, they can't just read one paragraph or one list and be done with it, then they will be kind of forced to look for more information. So that's what I think. I personally am not too worried about my blogging business because that's what I do. I always create an experience where readers can learn in-depth information. So my goal is to give people um, things that they can, learn. It's skill based basically. If you teach people skills, because skills cannot be learned with one or two paragraphs. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you teach people something um, that takes more than one or two paragraphs to learn, then people will be kind of forced to seek you out, or seek out information, or seek out blogs and articles that have more information beyond just one or two paragraphs that they can read on this generative search results area. So just to show you like a couple of things, like one of my blogs that often rank at the top, like within one to fifth position of Google search engine, is how to sell Canva templates. If you search for that, for example, um, my blog post is the first one that you see right here. And sometimes this is the other thing I've been seeing lately, that sometimes Google, the generative AI result doesn't create a result. It asks you, um, do you want to get an AI powered overview of this search? I'm not sure why it does that or what are the criteria, why it shows some results right away and sometimes it doesn't show results right away. I have no idea at this point. But if I click generate, then it's basically trying to find answers to how to sell Canva templates, and it came up with some information, and it's showing some links. But see, these links are not my links. A few days ago, when I searched for the same thing, I actually saw my link up there, but now it's not there. So I'm assuming that it changes things. Well, looks like it's still there, just you have to keep scrolling quite a bit to get to it. So this is the thing. This is how things are kind of changing, because now even though my blog post is the first one in the regular search result, it's not the first in this list. Um, and to be honest, at this point I don't know how it's going to affect blog traffic at the point when it's time for Google to turn on generative search for everyone. But thankfully, it hasn't really taken effect yet, and I'm still getting a ton of traffic. Another example may be how to create a blogger media kit. Another thing that I get a lot of traffic for from Google. Um, so again, it's showing my blog post at the very top. But see, surprisingly, it's not even showing generative search. It's not even giving me the option to get generative search results for this query. So it's still kind of, like I said, experimental, and I'm still not sure exactly um, what kind of search queries what kind of search queries I have to use to get the generative search results. um, when Google asks, waits to show generative search results, and then there are times like this when it's not even an option. So I'm still not sure what's going on with all of that. But for the vast majority of things, when you have generative search turned on, you will see some kind of generative search result. So, for example, um, something I was searching for earlier this week was, does washing your hair make your color fade? Something like that. For that, it's creating a generative search result answer right away. It's like a small blog post, you know. So for searches like this, like for things you can get like short, choppy answers. Generative search result shows that answer right on top. Kind of um, makes you think that what's even the point of creating content like that anymore if people can get answers right away. Um, so there's that thing I've been kind of debating myself with, because even though I'm not too worried about my blog, I have like blogging students who have all different types of blogs. And what do I tell them? Like when they ask about generative search, what is the best answer? And here's where I am now. Here's the thing: people still want, to learn from people. People still want the human connection. So you will still probably be okay, I think. We will learn more as time passes, obviously, but at this point, I think we all should be okay, even when generative search becomes the norm and everybody can turn it on. Because for one thing, Google is not the only traffic source. There's social media. There's Pinterest. So this is what I would say. I mean, if you are, focusing on search engines only, and you're a niche blogger who creates informational content and not do not necessarily teach a skill, then start using a different platform, to get traffic to your blog. Start using at least one or two social media platforms. Like Pinterest, for example, is one of my top choices for traffic, and it's easier than handling other social media like Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, because those social media platforms need you to create unique content. Pinterest, on the other hand, you just create an image, link it to your blog post, and you're done. So it's just a lot easier. And you get a lot of traffic that way too, because right after organic search, my top traffic driver on number two position is actually Pinterest. So I still use Pinterest a lot. I've also started using YouTube, kind of. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will continue to share videos weekly. So anyway, this is what I think, that don't panic at this point. Keep doing what you're doing, but try to keep it in mind that search is changing. It doesn't mean that you'll stop getting search traffic to your blog, but it means that it's changing and you may have to do things differently. So keep that in mind and try to use more and more Pinterest, so that you have traffic from there. Um, and yeah, that's all I can tell you right now. And honestly, I'm not too worried about myself, and I don't think most people shouldn't be too worried. It doesn't mean that your business is gonna, shut down or anything. No, it just means that you might have to change up certain things, might have to pivot in some areas, which is part of, doing business. So it's nothing different. Things change, technology change, and as business owners, it's our responsibility to be aware of what's coming as best as we possibly can, and then prepare for it. It's not the end of the world. It just means that it's a new challenge, which actually, if you think about it, can be quite fun. Um, so that's all I have for today, and hopefully, you'll have a chance to turn on generative search in your browser. And I highly recommend it. Go ahead and, if you haven't already, go ahead and join the waitlist. You should get access within a few days. And then try it out. See how things are working, whether it's working to your favor or working to your disadvantage. If you know what's coming, then you can better prepare it. So don't shy away from learning about these things. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, that's all for today's video, and I will see you again with a different video later. Bye.